So today we have the Haro Thread 2 aluminum version, and we have the Haro Steel Reserve 1.2, and we're going to do a review on the two of these bikes. Damn it.
Till it's gone.
So first off, I need to say this is a review on how the bikes ride, due to we've changed a few parts already. My buddy got this bike, and as soon as he got it, he switched a few parts to make it fit himself a little better. And as for the Thread 2, this is my personal bike that I've already been competing on, so it obviously already has all my sponsor components on it. But we'll go over a few of the basics, go over the basic weight of how it comes out of the box. Both these bikes are still pretty much the same weight as they come out of the box. So I'll show you the upgrades I did to mine, and we'll get straight into it and start riding these things. So the Steel Reserve is, like it says, steel. So it's a chromoly 4130 frame, basic, to the point, get the job done. Complete bikes are so good straight out of the box nowadays. But when it comes to a dirt jumper, I'd say the biggest thing is your fork. Definitely your mid-range dirt jumper, a perfect bike to get you started. If I were to change anything about this bike straight out of the box, aside from forks, it'd be tires. These tires are pretty generic, just complete bike tire. They're kind of heavy. I upgraded this bike to a Maxxis DTH. I wasn't able to give Will a front tire yet, but I'm gonna hook him up later with that. Just changing the tires has already dropped a lot of weight off of it. It comes stock with aluminum stem, aluminum handlebars. So all Will did was upgrade to a higher one. He's a tall guy, so he needed a taller bar. Comes with Tetro hydraulic brakes, which actually feel pretty good. You definitely would not have to replace those by any means. For not having adjustments, yeah, the rebound's not too crazy at all. So it actually feels all right for being a very low-end fork. Put higher bars on, and we changed the back tires. Now let's look at mine. Now when it comes to my bike, that's a little different. This bike also comes with the Manitou fork, but it comes with a higher model of it. It's got like the black legs, and there's a few adjustments you can change. I changed mine because I'm proudly supported by RockShox, and the RockShox DJ Pike is one of the most popular forks on the market. If you make any upgrades to a complete dirt jumper, I would say it'd be adding this fork. Like I said, bikes are so similar nowadays, and completes have come such a long way. Even that one having a low-end Tetro brake, it feels dialed. Like, I wouldn't change that. The cranks are just your basic chromoly 3-piece crank. For the money, the Steel Reserve is on point. It's a little heavier than this one, but like I said, you can upgrade to the aluminum version, and you also get a really nice fork. It's not going to be as nice as the RockShox Pike. So I changed forks. I put my SRAM EXO carbon cranks on, just a basic wheel set, Maxxis icon in the front, Maxxis DTH in the rear, seat is stock, HT pedals, bars, ODI, forgot the rise. ODI does a low rise and a high rise bar. This is their higher one. And the new extra soft, extra long ODI long neck grip. For no reason at all, I have code brakes on my bike, purely because I didn't pay attention, and I put my trail brakes on this bike and put this bike's brakes on my trail bike, so I need to switch those. The aluminum Thread 2 actually has dropout adjusters, which is super nice for lining up your back wheel and just really keeping your chain tight. As for the Steel Reserve, obviously there's no adjustments in the dropouts, and it's just a slotted dropout. Here's another thing I noticed about the fork that comes on the Steel Reserve. It's 3/8 axles, it's not a 20 mil. It's always nice being able to go the cheaper route, but at the same time, when you get a lower model bike, you're eventually gonna have to do upgrades. For someone who is gonna buy this bike, they're probably really new to buying a dirt jumper, and they would just wanna start out, they wanna start out cheap and see how they like it, which is fine. But more you start riding these things, more you're gonna send it, more you're gonna wanna upgrade, especially the fork. So think of the long run too. Like, you wanna save money now, or can you spend a little more now and not have to spend more later? We're gonna weigh the Steel Reserve 1.2. All right, we're looking at 28 pounds and 10 ounces. And for the people wondering kilos, 12.9, just under 13. And like I said, we put on a lighter rear tire, and the stem and bars might be a little lighter. Oh, this is way lighter. All right, so with all my Pro Rider upgrades, this bike is weighing in at 22 pounds and 14 ounces. And for my kilo guys, 10.37 kilograms. Let's get them on the jumps and see how they compare. All right, seeing how this is the first lap of the day, and this is the bike I'm used to, we're gonna start on the Haro Thread 2, and then we'll jump straight over to the Steel Reserve, and then I'll be able to spot the differences on what I feel the most as soon as I jump on it. So I'm the typical BMXer that rides everything probably way too stiff, so I fully opened up my fork. So hopefully I made this as soft as can be so it matches that fork as much as possible, but we'll find out. Oh, I'm feeling a bit stiff today. Oh. Let's do some tricks. I figure if we do some tricks, it'll allow us to feel how the bike responds right off the lip and in there. The Thread 2 is solid. Like I said, I opened the fork up all the way, but I run a lot of compression. I think I run about 250 pounds in my fork. This bike is just super stiff, you know? It's lightweight, it saves a lot of weight, and it just feels solid. I don't know if it's my last bike, being 3 years old, it felt a bit flexy and flimsy, but this bike just responds really well. And for anybody wondering, I run a 40 mil stem. This is the profile stem. Not a sponsor, just an old stem I had. It's short, feels good. I've been trying to make myself bar spin this bike, and just I feel like if everything's tight, it makes it a little better. I actually cut my bars a little bit too. Not to be biased, but man, I really like how this bike rides. It rides like my BMX bike, but the review is on the 2. So let's switch it up. Got a little warm up in. This one I feel natural on. So now I'll switch to the Steel Reserve and we'll compare the two. After riding that, immediately, this bike, like, geometry's pretty close to the same, but being a little longer stem, taller bars, lower seat, this bike feels way bigger. Let's run, see how it goes. Oh, immediately, the front end is definitely way softer. It's fine. Whoa, gear's way easy. Woo. That gear is much easier than what I have on here. What's this one have? A 14 in the back, 18, 19, 20. So it's 28. So it's a 28-14 versus my 32-14, which is pretty stiff. And this is a 28-14. First run, like I said, it's a little soft, but seeing how the rebound isn't crazy, the soft front end actually feels okay. It's not like it's springing in and bouncing right back out. I think it's kind of windy. But this video's got a lot of wind noise, I apologize. I'm still learning. Also, can't forget, we put on the extra soft, extra long ODI long necks on this bike as well. Pedals are just like cheap Wellgo pedals, but you know, they actually feel pretty good. I run an Afton flat pedal shoe, which is pretty sticky as it is, so this shoe with just a cheap little Wellgo feels pretty good. All right, second run. Start doing some kickouts or something. Whoa. Obviously the higher bars feel different, but Having that fork so soft, I thought it was gonna feel real spongy. But since the rebound isn't like crazy fast like some lower end forks, it actually felt good. It just feels real soft through the transitions. Let's go ahead and do a flip, see how it feels. I feel like the biggest difference is feeling the weight. And all that really does, it kind of keeps you more stable in the air. Well, I mean, that's what a heavier bike does. Definitely helps the stability in the air, but that's the only thing I'm really noticing. Even like pumping through here, that sounds crazy, but like that extra little weight, I feel like I'm going a little faster in some areas. Let's get the flip out of the way, see how that feels on this bike. Whoa! A bit unsure how that was gonna go. Mainly, again, back to the fork. Being a softer fork, I didn't really know how I was gonna compress, but I definitely felt it squish through the transition a bit, but it felt fine. I'm gonna clean that run up again and then give my opinion once again. I'm obviously not doing bars and tail whips right now, but if I just want to go out and ride a pump track or a bike park, like, it jumps pretty sick, even with that soft fork. I like aluminum bikes, personally. Like, coming from BMX racing, I like this stiffer bike, especially on the bigger hardtails. It's different when, like, a little freestyle BMX bike, chromoly versus aluminum. You want a chromoly bike for dirt jumping, it's a little more flex, makes it a smoother ride. But on hardtail, there's more tubing, so that aluminum's can flex a little more than a small BMX aluminum frame. So I thought it would feel a little more bouncy with that fork for a base model dirt jumper. Dude, I could ride this bike all day. Haro is obviously a sponsor, but I wasn't paid or asked to do this. I get a lot of BMXers asking me about wanting to get dirt jumpers. So when my buddy Will bought this bike, I thought, man, it'd be kind of a perfect opportunity to do a review on the two. Haro has one cheaper version, but it's got a rigid fork. I feel like you'd have to have a specific riding style to want to have a rigid fork. I recommend getting the 1.2 at least, because you have suspension. If you're gonna get a hardtail dirt jumper, you might as well have a suspension fork on the front. I literally couldn't stand by this bike anymore. This is such a good starter dirt jumper. If you have the money, I would say get the aluminum version. It's gonna be a little lighter. I believe the lower end aluminum frame actually comes with this same fork, but some people like steel. Steel is real, so it's kind of preference at that point, you know? I like a really lightweight bike because I like to be able to throw it around. Can't really complain. Only thing, if I personally got this bike, I'd probably eventually put lighter cranks on it and a better fork, and everything else stays the same. So that's pretty cool. All right, that wraps up my version of the Haro dirt jumper review. This is the highest model for the steel option, and this is the highest model for the aluminum option, minus my personal sponsored parts. Yeah, I would highly recommend this to my buddies. I couldn't recommend this bike enough. This is obviously the top of the line, more expensive hardtail, but honestly, you get what you pay for. If you have the money, spend it, because the parts are gonna last you a little longer. I don't know how long this fork is gonna last. When it comes to dirt jumpers, they're like BMX bikes. They're super basic. It's two triangles welded together, but you want a good fork. A good fork on a dirt jumper is the make or break point when it comes to having a good bike. So keep that in mind when you're buying, whether it's Haro or another brand. Just I hope this video helped in your purchase, because I've seen a lot of people buy cheaper options and bikes that have a much cheaper fork than this, and right out of the gate they got to spend another $600 or $700 to upgrade their fork. So just keep that in mind. When if it takes an extra couple weeks to save a little bit more money, the money's worth it. This bike comes so dialed right out of the box. You get what you pay for, people. The Haro Dirt Jump series is a winner in my book. Still are aluminum. Oh, you got options. Good luck. Hope to help. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think of this review. And if there's anything else you want me to review that you've seen me riding, any parts or other bikes, and let me know what else you want to see on this channel, because I'm here to help you guys. So help me help you. See you next time. Peace.